So the next one is Val. Hello, Val.
Hello. I was talking to Chima too, and one of the things we related together was that, I hadn't had a lot of experiences too. So what I mentioned to him was that once upon a time you mentioned, well, eventually you surpass experiences and dreams. And I think that resonated with him. And then that, and along with going out there and doing things, which originally I was excited about, and I knew, or I knew that the experiences would catch up to me if I did something, because that's in a way more important, at least to me, is to go out and share. So then, oops, so we get to, yeah, I mentioned the other day that I was putting some attention on uh, seeing more in the real side, or spending more time on the real side. So I was talking to the sensor and seeing if I can get some agreement on that. So last night I was on the real side, and I was in a sword fight with this little kid. He kept on coming at me and attacking me with his sword, and I was trying to get away. It was kind of a nuisance, sort of. So, but I had to engage him, and I kept slashing him and cutting him, and he kept on bleeding out and stuff, but he just kept on coming at me. I knew I could take him out because I was bigger, but at the same time, he was very dangerous at the same time, too. Like, I had to keep alert. So, so this, I think, is obviously, to me, it was my personal self, and how it is. It's something that's in a way dangerous. You have to keep alert. It's going to keep pestering you, and and it was just a demonstration to me that I could deal with it, and it's there, and I have to deal with it. But I could at the same time go beyond it, because in the experience I was bigger than it, and it's just a matter of like dealing with it. But at least I'm getting more. When I go to bed, I'm putting the attention there on on communicating with the sensor and get talking to it, maybe talk some sense into it. I don't know if it's possible, but at least get some agreement, that open up a little bit, and to have some more experiences there. But it's coming. I mean, I can feel it. It's more so every night, and that's my share.
Yes, that's very good. It's the little things, isn't it, that bug you?
Yeah.
Also, yes, I like your line, talking some sense into the sensor. This reminds me of a line in the first Batman with Michael Keaton where they're up on the roof near the end. And then, he kind of socks the Joker and his teeth come out and he says, hey, you made me and I made you, you see? And the thing being is that this is what it really is. You know that you can eliminate this, but at the same time, in a way you can't, because you created it. It's your creation. And it's very, very interesting how it is. So until you actually go through the whole process. Just like the physical body, this is a creation that we make. And I'm not happy with the creations that I've made, but we still have to deal with them. And it's just like the world around us. What we're seeing is what we've created. And now all of a sudden we're waking up to the fact, well, gee, I'm not happy with this. What do we do? Well, it's still here, isn't it? Yeah. This is how creation is. So, yes, it's all about awareness, isn't it? It's about your real awareness. And how is it that you surpass all of this, realistically? And you can, but you just have to go through the process. This is a recognition. This is where you recognize how to do that. And yes, you're bigger in the experience because you're more aware. But it's still a battle. And as long as we're here, we have to deal with this. So this again is where it is suggested to become very active, because you must learn to defend yourself. And just like, that's a very good example, Val. It's a very, 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 very good example. But yes, I've wrestled with the personal self many times, stretched it like rubber and whatever, and just laughed at me. This was in the past. I don't really do that anymore. But in the past, I remember that I had many occasions, many occasions, wrestling with it. I'd be sometimes like Superman flying in the air, and this thing had come up and attacked me, and we'd just wrestle. And that's just how it is, wrestling with the personal self, because this is our creation. So you figure out another way. And you see this in the movies too, and just like the one I referred to, the first Batman movie. He wrestled with his personal self because, it's like Batman, it's like Bruce Wayne. He created this alter ego. And all of a sudden, at some point, he realizes that this is a reality that he's created. And so it becomes very, very interesting, doesn't it? Yes. How we create these things and they become their own reality themselves. Yeah. This is the awesomeness of creation that we don't see from the invisible side, and then it is exposed to us in our dreams, to where the personal side here doesn't really recognize what's going on. Because again, the personal side has its own life, and it doesn't truly recognize the real awareness that it's an extension of. This becomes a very, very interesting psychological position. So this is why the world's so screwed up, because people cannot identify their real awareness. All they can do is really identify with their aberrations and distortions that they've agreed to, and then the world comes out accordingly. That's why we see the world as it is. Everybody's agreeing to distortion. And so how else can the world come out? And there are certain individuals that all they do is promote distortion. That's the governments and the political systems and all these, various business and corporations. Most of them are promoting distortion. Look at the products that are made. Total garbage and nonsense, but they're all dressed up really nice and cutesy. And when you go into a knick-knack store to buy a present for somebody, what are you buying? Some little vase or vase so they can set it somewhere. What does this have to do with survival? When you look at the so-called third world countries, I love these people. I'd rather live in some little village in Ecuador. And that is that they don't do any of this nonsense for the most part. They do certain things, of course, but they make everything by hand, and it's all focused on survival. It's more real with what is taking place. And really, it's not about, the thrill and fun of things. It's just that when you live a real life, it's even better. Yes, it's even better. Yes. Because there's great sincerity there. And again, this is where you tie yourself to the real universes. So, in this fast-paced world, most people don't have time to see anything but chase nonsense and non-essential thrills that eventually mean anything. And that it is all the kind of fake put-on pizzazz of having a good day and this and that and whatever. it's really kind of a fakey world, and it's just so one-dimensional, and people can't get past that and see it. Well, that's their choice. But what we're providing here is wonderful to show people how they can surpass that, and they don't have to be the effect, because all the effects show up. All this distortion that's put out there, it all comes around. So yeah, Starbucks coffee looks good, tastes good, but what's in it? And the effects come around and they start to show up. Everything is showing up because it's distortion. Yeah. Yes, thank you, Val. Very good example. Yes. Yes, we'll hear from you and see, how you can make sense of the sensor. That's a good one. Talk sense into the sensor. Yes. Yes, I like that.